Hi, this is Kevin Souza. Not many people like to discuss the things in their lives that embarrassed them, that weren't so very good, that mistakes were made and would not want to expose that to the world. Well, I'm going to do that in this video. And this is not easy for me, so bear with me, but I'm sure you're going to love to hear the dirt, okay? Back in 1976, when I graduated from high school, I decided to go into the U.S. Air Force because I did not have the funds for college and did not believe in myself that I could do it. And so I chose to go into the Air Force and didn't even know what occupation to choose, so I chose Morse code. And when I went to boot camp, basic training in San Antonio, Texas at Lackland Air Force Base, 3 or 4 weeks into the 6 weeks training, I faked a seizure. I made believe that I had a seizure. Little did I realize that when I was doing it, that I would be kicked out of the Air Force, that they said it was EPTS, existed prior to service, and so they sent me home with an honorable medical discharge. Am I proud of that? Of course not. Was that wrong? Yes, it was. But I was young and ignorant and pretty stupid, actually. And we do things all of our lives that can cause either some little bit of mistakes or serious mistakes. So here's what I did. I was talked into going into voice college, music school, New England Conservatory of Music, by a friend of mine named Todd. And I did. I enrolled and I got a scholarship to go. So I went. And that's where, by the way, I first signed up to network marketing home-based business opportunity. I'm not going to name the company, but many of you know which one that was. And I had a couple of home meetings, 40 people at each meeting at my mother's house, and every person said no to me. And I made the decision after getting rejected that I would continue in spite of the fact that I would actually be jeopardizing the relationships of my friends, my family, my classmates, my teachers, and everybody that meant something to me. It really hurt that everybody said no, even though I didn't realize till decades later that they weren't rejecting me, they were rejecting the opportunity. So I left college for this business, got an apartment, got a job, and moved into an apartment with my girlfriend from college, and she got pregnant, which is my fault. When I say fault, meaning we didn't use protection. And Richard was born, and then Christopher was born 2 years later. Donna and I got divorced. Why? Well, because I was stupid. That's why. For the 8 to 10 years when they were growing up, I got to see them on a regular basis, and it wasn't very regular. But then she met someone and moved to Indiana, and he adopted their last name to his. And I have since reunited with my younger son, Chris. I would hope that Richard would want to eventually speak with me and unite with me. But I was stupid and ignorant and young and immature, and that was a mistake because I didn't think like an adult would think. And so 2 beautiful boys who've grown up into wonderful men, and my relationship with them is not as great as I would love it to be. And I'm sure that over time, with the love of God, that will happen. What else did I do? Well, then after that, I moved to New Hampshire and got married again. Only this time I vowed to never have children again for the rest of my life. That's what I did. That was my decision. But here's my other problem. I smoked marijuana for probably 25 years or so. You didn't know that about me, did you? And when I finally did quit, which was 10 years ago or so, I cleaned up. Was working jobs all of my life, different jobs. I wasn't steady in one job because I'm independent. I'm not the type of person who likes to have a boss, which is why I've been retired since 2008 out of the job market, not retired out of making a living with my online business. And so I divorced the gal that I was married to in New Hampshire after 14 years. And then I got married again, and this time it was to a music teacher. And so there is Kevin, 2 divorces, smoked marijuana in his life, had a couple of kids before he got married. Well, I got married after the first child out of obligation, and again, needed a lot of growing up to do. And then after 16, 17 years, got divorced again. And the reason for that is because of our separate interests. My interest was in my business, my primary interest online, and there was no support on her side for what I do, and she is the one that finally realized that after 17 years that we need to get a divorce. And I was desperately hurt. And so here I was, 3 divorces, smoked pot for 25 years, was irresponsible going job to job to job until I finally had a job that I was real steady in when I found the online business that I'm doing now. I knew that it would take a little bit of courage to let people know this side of me. But what happened is I met the woman of my dreams, Kim, and her daughter Ashley, who has autism. And when I say woman of my dreams, it's like everything I could ever possibly want in a marriage and in a relationship, God just handed to me on a silver platter. And so I drove 1,100 miles from Massachusetts to Louisville, Kentucky, where I live now with my darling wife and lovely stepdaughter, Ashley. I'm so happy. It's the happiest I've been in my entire life. Kim works the business with me, so we are 100% supportive on both sides and very much in love with each other. So it's very difficult to tell people what you've done wrong in life, and there's lots of people, even this video, will be judging me, and that's one of the reasons why people don't share their shortcomings with others, because for fear of being judged. But you know what? I don't care. Go ahead and judge me. My life has completely changed so much for the better because I'm finally, after so many years, in a relationship with someone that we're both deeply and madly in love with each other. It's a wonderful feeling. I just wanted to share this video with you to let you know that, hey, if you have problems in life, don't be ashamed of them. Don't hide them. And here I am telling the world about the problems that I've had in life. Maybe it might help if you do that and you share with the world some of the things that you've done, mistakes that you made, and lessons that you've learned. I've learned some serious lessons as a result of the challenges and problems in my life. When I quit the U.S. Air Force, unbeknownst to me, I would be kicked out. I thought I was going to take a vacation, a few days off from basic training. I learned to never give up. When I got divorced the first time, I learned that you need to put love in a relationship in order for it to last forever. And that's the mistake that I made with my first marriage. In my second marriage, the biggest mistake was my usage of pot. and then my third marriage, lesson that I learned from that was you need to both have the exact same interests and be on the same page. Her interest was music, so was mine at the time in my life. So, I was convinced that with that part of my life, with my singing and performing in musicals and shows, that we were kindred spirits. But my passion for my online business and my networking side of my life was not shared that way, and so the marriage disintegrated as a result of that. But she saw it first and made the move first. The lesson that I learned with my new marriage with Kim, for the last 2 years we've been married, and my relationship with my stepdaughter, is that love is the answer to everything. When you make love your greatest weapon, nothing and can defend against its force. And everything is all based on caring and loving. So those are kind of the lessons that I learned from the things that I've done in my life that I normally wouldn't be sharing with the world, but I decided to do that today. So in the meantime, with respect to business, you can take lessons that you learned from life and apply them in anything in your life, and I've done that in my online business. My wife and I encourage you to get your own blog, just like we are, and share with the world your passions, okay? What you love and what you're interested in, because you can actually create and build a nice income with that. Since I married my wife, we've earned close to $250,000 in income in the last couple of years as a result of the synergy of working together. Now, my results aren't typical, and of course, if you find an income disclaimer on one of my websites, go ahead and take a look at it. But when you have a passion and you have a goal and you want to achieve something in life, no matter what's happened in your past, it does not equal the future. And as long as you learn lessons from what you've done wrongly in life or mistakes that you've made, obviously some of the mistakes you just cannot correct. But put love in your life. Just give love. And, everything else will fall into place. And you will be helped. You really will. So join Kim and I. Get your own blog. Do something with yourself. Step out. Get a little bit of uncomfortableness, and if it's not comfortable for you, to go after that dream that you always wanted to achieve but weren't sure that you could do. And so, with that said, this is Kevin Souza. I appreciate you listening and watching my video and following my blog posts. And we appreciate everything and everyone in our lives, my wife Kimberly and I. And I love you. Okay. So make it a wonderful day. And don't forget, your dreams are the most important gift that you've been given. Treat it with respect. Take action. And you can do it. Make it a wonderful day.